Okay, so hey everybody again. Told you I would be back shortly. I can't remember. I think I did a video on awakening, but I really can't remember. But I just want to take it a step further and talk about being chosen because that's a different space to be in. Because when you chosen, you find that you keep. I'm not gonna say repeating patterns, but sometimes you do repeat patterns. Like you go through um just pain, you go through certain hardships, and you find yourself trying to figure out, like, why am I continuously going through this? Like, you find yourself in a position where you're like, have I been that bad of a person? Like, what did I do to deserve these things that are happening to me? But the whole thing is, it's not even your cross to bear. I don't know how many of you have heard about generational curses, but sometimes people have things in their family that it goes on from person to person. It's just a thing. It's just a thing in the family, that it may be an addiction to certain things. It may be um, like most family lines, they might have a lot of single mothers. Like it can like dwell from, like, some may be constantly incarcerated for certain things. Like they're just different um, curses and cycles that it's just hard to break. And sometimes you're the one chosen to break them, and you don't understand why you're having to go through so much. And it's like no matter what you do, it's like it's just one thing after the other. But it's because you were chosen to break those curses for the generations to come. So it comes with a big responsibility, because you have to figure out how to manage, how to not only get through that pain, but then start to heal and build yourself up so that, your nieces, your nephews, your grandkids, your children, like just the other people coming behind you, they don't no longer will have to deal with those things, because those are the things that you have finally broke the cycle to, if that makes sense. Another thing we have to deal with in being chosen is, or that you'll have to deal with in finding out that you've been the chosen one, is to know that this is a lonely path to walk along. Like, you find that, you're starting to question, you're starting to put things together a little differently. You're starting to be shown signs, and you thinking you're tripping. You're thinking that you're alone, not realizing that there's a whole community of people who feel exactly the same way that you do, and we're all walking different paths, but we're all going in the same direction. You know what I'm saying? Even though, and that may sound crazy, but the end goal is all the same. All paths lead home. All roads lead home. We're all going the same way. But it's hard because during that time, like, you may feel like nobody understands you. You're very misunderstood. You can't find anybody to relate to. But during that time of loneliness and during that time of pain and suffering, you have to also realize that that's when you're being molded. That's when you're being formed. If you ever think about it, like, think about artists, for example. They best music be coming from when they hungry, when they going through shit, when they just down and out. Like, what's that saying? Um, like, pressure breeds diamonds or something like that. Like, it's something to that effect. Like, you have to go through that rough end of the process, because that's what's taking form. Maybe you need to know how strong you really are. Maybe for some of you, you need some vulnerability. So life has to happen to pull out the things that you're going to need in order to go to the places that you're destined to go to. Because maybe right now we can ask for a lot of things. We ask for money, we ask for all these things, but we're not ready for it. We're not ready to maintain it. Can you maintain it once it's given to you? Probably not. So guess what? Now you're going to be put in a position to where you ask for these things, and yeah, you might go ahead and get it, but you're also going to be put in a position to be able to maintain those things. And that's where like, I guess now that I'm older, I realize, like, when they used to have that saying, like you got to pay the cost to be the boss. Like, it's really a cost. Like, it's really sacrifice. It's really, like, people don't understand. You lose family, you lose friends, you lose pieces of yourself, but you gain so much as well. It's not just about what you lose, but it's about what you gain. It's about who you become, and it's about what's brought out of you in the process. And also, um, this year, we'll see if I'm correct, but this year is going to be a year where we question things, especially the youth, the younger generations. We're questioning the things that our parents and our grandparents taught us. We're, especially when it comes to religion, especially because now we're looking and we're critically thinking, and we're like, how does this shit make sense? And I don't know about y'all, but, like, when I was growing up, in the church sometimes, and I moved around. If you know me now, I'm a lover of all like different religions. So like I love to study religion, but you're really taught not to question God. You're taught not to question, depending on what path, what religion that you're in. Most of us were taught not to question. We were just given things and taught like, hey, this is what it is. We were taught you don't question. And now we're finding that no, we question. Like it's a lot of things that need to be questioned, because I don't know about y'all, but when I used to like, and I don't know why I'm going over to the side note, but some things when I used to be sitting in church, I used to be looking at the pastor like, this ain't really resonating with me. Like this ain't really like this 2 and 2 ain't really making 4 for me. Like, and so, but it was it's crazy because, and this will be a whole nother like side note video if you guys want, about like how I ended up being in close proximity with ministers and pastors, like on a whole nother level. And so I got to see a whole nother side, which solidified for me where I'm at now. But um, you just have to learn how to like ask. I feel like asking the answer will be given unto you. Ask and the answer will be given. So sometimes those answers may not look like what you were taught. So you're going to be taught to, you're not taught. You're going to begin to, people are young, the youth are going to start to question what they were taught, is what I'm trying to say. And I feel like it's going to start causing some friction, because not only are we going to start to question, we're going to actually be able to back up and validate what we're saying. And I feel like there is going to be pushback and resistance from the older generations, but we'll see if that comes to pass. But let me know if it ends up happening with you, because I feel like that's going to lead to a lot of people feeling like they're black sheeps in their family as well. And you may be, but at the end of the day, you have a whole community behind you if that's the route that it takes. Um, what else? Oh, sorry, I had to put down little notes, otherwise I was gonna forget. Um, oh, big one. People, you're gonna realize as you're going along, as you're finding yourself, as you're trying to walk in your purpose, that which at some point you're gonna resist, because your purpose, like when you really start walking in it, it's gonna be scary as shit. Like you're gonna be scared of your purpose, because you're gonna be like, oh my God, this was for me. Like this is what's on the table. Like you're gonna be scared, even though to like walk on faith. That everything's gonna like work out. You're gonna have your struggles, but this is for you. It's gonna be scary. But that being said, it's gonna be a lot of people that, as the like the closer that you're getting to hitting that like point of success for you, you're going to find out that people cannot let go of the past. Like people are still holding on to the old you. People are still expecting, just the old you. Like they're still holding on to the old shit, the things you used to do. And it's like, that's not you anymore though. And you got to understand that you can't let those people bring you back, because like those people will start to try to criticize and attack, like, well, this is what you used to do, and how he or she thinks she this and that, and this is what blah blah blah. I remember when. Okay, like you remember that shit. I do too. I was there. It was me, sis. But like that ain't what it is no more. Like, excuse me, y'all know. I don't know where this like little hood shit came from, but that's not what time it is anymore. Like we are all changing, we're all evolving, and you cannot allow people to hold you back. And if those people cannot understand the evolution that's taking place, then they cannot come along, period. Like we cannot afford to let people hold us back from what was meant for us anymore. Some of us, I didn't sit here and watched people completely throw their life away because they were scared to do what they wanted to do, because they were scared of what their friends and family would think. Was scared. And like I see those people now, years later, and they're still stuck. They're still stuck, even down to the way that they dress. They're still stuck from where I left them at. Like, I'm not where I left them at, but from when I last seen them. So it's crazy to me. And it's like, and they're still scared of what people will think. It's like crazy. Like, so it's a very, it's a mental game. Like people are really stressed about what other people think about them, and it kills me because people don't give a fuck about you for real. Like, and I'm not saying like that nobody does, but I'm saying these people in particular, that people get so stressed out about, that you probably get so stressed out about, these friends, these family members, like what do they do for you for real? Like, so really sit back and think about, what do they do for you that you are willing to stop your whole life, you're willing to stop all the success that's on the table for you, for their opinion of you. And 9 times out of 10, they ain't went nowhere their damn self. If we really want to lay it out on the table, see, we got to start laying shit out on the table, like. And that's another thing. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but let's bring it to the table. A lot of us in our families, we sit and we stay silent, and we don't want to speak on things because it's not our place. Sometimes it is, because sometimes we don't speak on things and we continue to see the same shit happening. We continue. Okay, I'll give a personal example in my family, because whatever, it is what it is. I have a family member who, he continues to make bad decisions, and I had another family member just talking shit, like, I don't understand why they can't get it together. They always just in and out of jail. They always fucked up. They always, just going towards drugs, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, well, maybe because he never fucking had a chance. When you think about it, like, he never got the opportunities that you guys got. And some of the times, the trouble he got into was for y'all. Y'all don't want to talk about it, but some of the shit that he's been through, some of them strikes he had, wasn't even for him. Let's talk about that. Then everybody gets silent. And I'm like, maybe it wasn't my place to, jump in and defend. Because at the end of the day, he has to take accountability and pull his shit together as well. Yes, I understand. But it's like, don't sit and just talk shit about somebody when at the end of the day, he helped your ass out too. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to stop being divided. And it's time for us to try to come together and move together as a group on a collective level. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's another part of being chosen. Like, sometimes you got to stand apart. Sometimes you have to be the one that don't nobody agree with. Sometimes you got to be the one that stand against adversity that nobody really rocks with. And that's okay. And you also need to know, this year, there is no more sitting on the fence. There is no more playing both sides. You need to pick your side, and you need to know where you stand. You need to know what it is that you stand for. Because this is just a year where you just, there's no more playing both sides. You got to know. You got to pick a side. There's no more laying on the fence. Just have faith, hold on to that, and know that you're capable, know that you're worthy, and know that, you have to be able to really see things, and not necessarily lean on things with your own understanding, but you have to really be able to see, and you really have to be able to feed yourself. And when I say feed yourself, yes, I mean like, like real food, but like I also mean like, what are you feeding yourself mentally? What are you feeding yourself emotionally? What are you feeding yourself spiritually? What things are you listening to? Who are you listening to? Like, everything that you do, you're programming and you're feeding yourself in some type of way, shape, or form. So you have to be very conscious as to what you're doing. And you have to know when to speak and when to just keep your peace. You know what I mean? But that's going to be that for that. Let me know, if you guys have any type of like questions or just need to talk or whatever. Like, I'm definitely here. I definitely know how it feels to be like in that space. I'm just now getting to a space where I'm like, fuck it. Because I think that, we all wear masks. We're all at a space where it's like, oh my gosh, I don't want these people to know that I'm like this or that I think like this, and I'm just scared of what people are gonna think of me. And I don't know about y'all, but that shit is exhausting. Like, the shit is exhausting for me to like keep putting up a front and me not wanting to offend anyone, because it's never intentional anyway. I'm never intentionally trying to hurt anyone. But for me to have to try to put on a whole fucking persona just so somebody else feels comfortable, nah, not me. So I hope you guys have a lovely night. And I hope that I gave you guys something to think about, some confirmation, and even just some inspiration. Like, I'm good with that too. I love you guys. If nobody tells you that they love you, I love you. And bye.